one. So today we are talking about polygons. Anybody know what a polygon is? Crew?
It has 5 sides, I think.
Ooh, does it?
I think. Yeah.
A pentagon. A pentagon has 5 sides.
It's a flat shape.
What's a polygon?
Four sides.
Oh, that's a quadrilateral. What's a polygon?
3 sides.
A shape that connects and is flat.
A shape that connects that is flat. So you guys are giving me examples of polygons. Those are all examples of polygons, but a polygon is very generic. It's just any shape that has it's like a closed figure. Yeah, and it's flat. It's a two-dimensional closed figure. Okay, so a plane is a flat surface that extends without end. When I talk about a plane, I'm talking about something kind of like this. It extends without end. So we can have a coordinate plane. Sometimes we can plot points on a coordinate plane, but it goes on forever and ever without end. A polygon is a flat closed shape with straight sides. 2 sides meet at what we call a vertex. If you have more than one vertex, it's called vertices. We would say the vertices of a triangle are whatever, like they have measurements because they're angles. So once we get into measuring angles, you can actually talk more about the vertices of a triangle. Okay, this chart is really helpful because it has all of the number of sides for each of our common polygons, and it gives us a picture to reference as well. So this page in your book may be helpful for the next few lessons, or that you might want to reference back to. Triangle has 3 sides. You guys were telling me about a quadrilateral, the 4-sided one. You guys told me about the pentagon, the 5-sided one. There's also a hexagon, heptagon, octagon, decagon, and dodecagon. There's more too, but these are the most common. Savannah?
Why is there no 9-sided shape?
That would be called a nonagon, and there is. These are just the most common that you see. Nonagons aren't very common, but they do exist. Okay, so polygons. These figures cannot be considered polygons. Why? Why would the first one not be considered a polygon, Jeremy?
It isn't closed in.
It is not closed in. Okay, there is an open side. Savannah, why would the second one not be considered a polygon?
Their lines aren't straight.
Because their lines are not straight. You've got that curvy side over here, right here. And then why would the third one not be considered a polygon, Natalie?
Because it's 3D.
Because it's 3-dimensional. It has to be flat. Good. Which of these is not a polygon? Bowen.
D.
D. Why?
Because it's not straight.
Because they're not straight. Okay. It is enclosed, but it doesn't have any straight lines. All right, a quadrilateral. This is our most common polygon just because there are so many different types of quadrilaterals that we learn about. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. Which of these would not be considered a quadrilateral? Jude.
C.
C's right, because how many sides does it have?
6.
And so what's that considered?
Q.
A hexagon. It's considered a hexagon. So C is the correct answer. All right. Congruent. Guys, we're moving on. Congruent figures are the exact same size and shape. Okay? Exact same size and shape. So if I have 2 shapes that look identical, we would call them congruent. They may be turned in different positions. They could be flip-flopped. They could be mirrored, but they're the exact same size and shape. Congruent figures are also considered similar, which are the same shape but may not be the same size. So congruent figures can be similar, but similar figures cannot be called congruent all the time because sometimes they may not be the same size. Abe?
So that just said they're exactly the same size, but then later on it says but may or may not be the same size.
If they're similar. That's why I just kind of clarified. Congruent figures can be categorized as similar also, but similar cannot be categorized as congruent because if it's similar, then it means that it's not the same size necessarily.
That's kind of
Same shape though. It's kind of like that thing where like a square Y'all know the thing, like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle can't be a square.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, sort of. Like there's one little tiny thing that makes it untrue if you say it backwards. Savannah?
What do you call it if it's not the same shape or size?
Then they're just different. That's not called anything. If it's the same shape, just different size. So for example, if I have if I have this triangle, okay, it's the same shape, kind of pretend like my drawing's a lot better. It's the same shape, but it's a different size, so those would just be similar figures. But all of these yellow ones are examples of congruent figures because they are identical in size and shape. Davis?
Oh, but if it's the same size but not the same shape?
Then they wouldn't be considered anything. Okay. All right, that's it for today. I told you it was short. So you guys are going to have about 20 minutes for your lesson. Starts on page 219 through 221, all 30 questions. Make sure you show all necessary work.